And we are live. I think. I hope. I dream. I sleep perchance to dream. Even though I haven't slept yet. And now we wait. God, it's cold. Howdy, Flora. Morning. How's it hanging? Oh, man. Ooh. God, it's so cold. Let's see if I can get good enough to backseat. Okay, you really should try this game. It's really fun. It's really fun. Especially at the stage of the game I'm at. Oh, man, I got some cool stuff to show off today. Howdy, Arrow. Good to see ya. Kay has indeed joined the cult. Welcome, welcome. Man, I got some fun stuff to show off today. Very excited. I will say, apologies for not streaming more throughout the week. I wanted to stream Thursday and Friday, but two things got in the way. One, my sleep schedule's a little whack, and so that's been messing with me a little bit. And also, you know, Joe is streaming again, so usually I try to sneak that stream in 2 hours before he starts. So you can see how those two things compound. And two, the next stream that I want to do is an art stream for the Warcraft 3 models. But I haven't really drafted any models yet. And I didn't want that to just be like a 2-hour stream, not really get anything done as far as the drafting phase. So that's where I've been. I expect to be live both today, tomorrow, and Monday, however. So we shall see. For now, though, hello everyone. Everyone who's here, we're starting much, much earlier than usual. So I can understand if the usual crowd isn't here. We take what we can get. I'm already behind on Joe streams. I'll be completely honest, I have not really been paying attention to the Persona 3 streams whatsoever, mostly because with the way that my sleep schedule is, I usually fall asleep about 2 or 3 hours after they start. So I don't know what's going on at all. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm so lost. I'll usually just wake up to Joe arguing with chat about some new plot development, and I just kind of try and infer the what's going on from that point forward. Keep trying to get into the P3 streams, but the vibes are... Yeah, the vibes are off. The vibes are off, I will say. Persona 3 fans seem to get very defensive about their game when Joe does the slightest bit of critical thinking with the game. And I don't understand why that is, because the fact that he is asking those questions means that he is engaged. That's just what you do whenever you're engaged with something and want to think critically about it. You ask questions, and then you watch and see if those questions are followed up on. That's how it goes. Time to get award, pre-3 award for chat ruin it. Yeah, it's looking like it. It's looking like it. I hope it evens about. Wrong, you go, ooh, Yuka-chan, so kawaii. Thank you. Very valuable input, Boulder. Thank you very much. I also haven't been tuning into the Umineko streams myself, because I don't know that I like how Joe not reads as in like the tone of voice and all that. I don't like necessarily the pace that he reads at. I always want to just keep going. And I probably will read Umineko myself at some point, or at the very least watch the stage plays or other media. And so I'd like to experience that myself, if in fact I ever do. I like Persona 3, but it's just a vibes game. Nothing deep, but you're not going to enjoy it with the Joe format. Joe likes to experience the part that's gameplay interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I've been drawn... I'm friends with Mouse. I was already drawn in from day one. She got me to watch the stage play, Act 1 of the stage play for, a while ago, and I immediately vibed with it and got into, like, English major media analysis mode with it. So I know that if I were to read Umineko, I would love that shit. But I haven't gotten into it just yet. There's a lot that I have to get into, especially with reading. I have been listening to more Stormlight Archives, which I have been enjoying. But while I've been listening to that, I've been working on The Factory. So we've got a couple of new developments that I am very excited to show off. First and foremost, we have upgraded the Caterium Factory, this little one that was making quick wire. And we've also upgraded the bridge. So we've expanded the hydroelectric dam to cover more of the waterfall. And there's stuff that I gotta show off there. You may also be able to tell by the fact that I'm jetpacking around. I now have a small liquid biofuel factory so that I can have fuel for my jetpack. Liquid biofuel is not self-sustaining. However, it is the most... it has the most longevity of all of the fuel sources, which means it's extremely efficient for the kind of jetpacking that I do, which is this very lateral hovering, feathering of the gas. But yeah, we've upgraded the Caterium Factory. I've been exploring, so I've gotten a lot of alternate recipes. Do you want to show the Fixmas Factory? We will at some point, yes. And so, one of those recipes I got is pure Caterium ingots. I read Way of Kings recently and didn't like it at all, and then I checked out Terry Pratchett and enjoyed it. I've been reading Way of Kings. I'm enjoying it. Although, I have a hard frame of... It's hard for me to really know whether or not I'm enjoying something because it's good or I'm enjoying something because I have low standards. I haven't read a book in so long. So it could just be that I've been so starved for an book, and that's why I'm having such a good time with it. But also, Pub got me like an audio drama version that has like voice acting and everything. So that is probably doing a lot to keep me engaged as well. Anyway, we have all these refineries that are processing pure Caterium ingots. And so that's using Caterium and water in a refinery instead of just smelting it. So this is making 120 Caterium ingots per minute. I will say, this isn't that special, but I am really, really proud of the routing that I've done for the logistics of this. Specifically, need to take a nap. Sorry, I'm going to be missing this one. Have a good one, Boulder. Thanks for stopping by. I love how I set up the loop for this. Instead of having the loop come all the way around and look really ugly, I had it loop vertically. And it just goes all the way around, stacks on itself. Goes all the way around. Looking real nice. I gotta recolor these pipes at a certain point. And then I have the belts also going across the top. The manifold is a little... I can't tell if this manifold is ugly or whether I kind of love it. But it's certainly unique as far as my other manifolds go. But it's looking good. Right now I only have this set up to make 60 per minute, which is massively under capacity. But that's because I don't have anything that requires Caterium, and I'm not sure where I'm going to ship this Caterium to. And it's more efficient to transport Caterium as ingots because of the conversion rate. Like this is 5 to 1 or 1 to 5 or 5 to 1, 5 to 1. Yeah, it's much more efficient to transport the Caterium ingots rather than quick wire. But I plan on shipping them somewhere over there to make an AI limiter factory. Either way, this can make a lot. This can make 600 quick wire per minute. If I find the alternate Caterium wire recipe, that could also be pretty good. I haven't shown Slug Island yet, no. So we're going to head right on over there now. God, jetpacks are such a game changer. Liquid biofuel was absolutely the right move, by the way, Pub. Thank you for telling me to invest in that. Another problem is Caterium is like 200 meters in the highlands and I have 0 water. Yeah. Yeah, that can be an issue. I watch a YouTuber doing modded Minecraft videos. I don't understand at all how anything is built, so this is a comforting experience for me. Nice. There used to be a train station here. I'm massively revising that. I'll show you what's going on there. I blueprinted some modular railroads. We've got some additions. I haven't modified the swimming pool yet at all. What have I done? My sulfur supply is like 1,200 meters away. That's why I'm building the super bridge. I need to get my sulfur factory handled. For now, did I find the 2 hidden Easter eggs? I did not, no. Let me show you the first thing. Way up top here, I built a small little shrine. Got a Shinto gate here. I'm actually really happy with how this came out. I think this looks really, really nice, the gate. I used inverted ramp walls real thin and merged them halfway through. Definitely a bit wide, but I'm happy with it. And then the shrine itself. Dedicated to those lost in the research of the new frontier. May the sun forever shine upon your souls. In memory of the 3 slugs required to eventually reach synthetic automation of power crystals. We will never forget their sacrifice. Check under the left of the weave arch. Okay, well, you probably mean left side by this side. Dog! Hold on. Dog. It's Joms. I will not allow Joms to defile this sacred place. I refuse. That is cute, though. I'm worried about what the other thing you might have hidden was. I'm definitely gonna steal the Torii Gate. Yeah, this turned out way better than I thought it would, but it's just painted beams, and then I have inverted ramp walls and 1 meter basic walls clipped halfway into it. Looks a lot better than I thought it would. But this is just a little shrine that I made. I think this is cute. And of course I have these power shards set aside for them forever. Painted beams are crazy with the amount of stuff that you can do. This one isn't so much pretty as it is functional. Here is the blueprint station that I have fully framed and scaffolded for the Mark II blueprint designer. Now 5x5. Got catwalks, so you can go up 2 levels, so you can get a higher view of everything like this. It does look like a wrestling cage. I built this. I built all these big pillar frames specifically so that I could light it from above. So that I could actually see what I was building whenever it was nighttime. I have seen some of your Minecraft builds. Yes, they're very impressive. I tried building a 90-degree rail turn in the blueprinter, but I failed. I will see if I can help you with that. I managed to do it, but it's a little tricky. And by a little tricky, I mean very tricky. I had to make some compromises. But there's some tricks to it. But there's that little station, another little hydroelectric dam bridge there. And then Morning, Lemonade. I have a little adequate pioneering statue now. I don't like that this is an item, like, you have to throw down. I don't like that you can't place it. But I think I got it placed. I'm not going to look at it, otherwise I will disagree with the words I was about to say. Let's just forget about that. And then, of course, you know, we've just got a, you know, a real cozy little space. Got everything you need here. You know, got a bed, nice big flat screen TV. You got the PlayStation 4 here, or the PlayStation 5. You know, got some snacks, got a drink. Just sort of chilling in the big recliner. Pub made this while I was away doing something else. And it turned out perfect. I had just a couple adjustments that I made, such as using this window to sort of frame it into the wall, and setting up these speakers. Jelly was so scared, but I really was. I did not trust him to make something. This futon is so good. The fabric is the pillow. Of course, we have the shrub here. Right, you know, you need a little plant to add some positive ambiance. You know, it really livens the place up. You know, it's got everything you need, anything a growing slug could need. And then I don't think there's anything else here that I wanted to show off. I never considered dropping items for decoration. There are some constraints to it, namely that whenever you drop an item, it will always face a specific direction. Check under the scaffolding in the garage. You're gonna have to be more specific than that. Like a... When you say under, do you mean like look in this... Like, look up to the ceiling, under the walkway? I see. We're looking. Amazing. This one can stay. This one can stay. Delightful. Thank you. I have a jukebox. Oh, I should put the jukebox in his room. That'd be great. Next time there will be 4 joms. Please don't cover my entire world in joms. Where are we headed to next? I think next we should go check out the circuit board factory. I don't think I showed that off. I'll be honest, I have shared a handful of things in Jads. And so I'm not sure what I have and haven't showed off yet. I don't think I've showed this off. We have got this extremely over-designed portable miner mini factory. This entire building makes 1 portable miner per minute. So that so that I never have to build them ever again. That's all it does. I took 2 impure iron nodes, and I made a portable miner factory. And then over-designed the hell out of it just so it would look pretty. I'm really happy with these windows. These are they're framed by 8-meter ramp walls. I think this turned out really nice. Looks real snazzy. Can slide into the conveyor belt line here. I think using conveyor walls as little mobility slide areas like that is very fun. I gotta experiment with that more in my designs because that's cool. I like that. Oh, why is that coated concrete? Nope. The inner workings are a little, you know, it's more barren than you might think on the inside. There's this entire section here that I have no purpose for whatsoever. Amazing how good movement in this game feels considering what it is. Yeah, like, this has better movement than some platformers I've played, honestly. Especially once you start to get some mobility upgrades, like the jetpack and the parachute. Oh my god. But here it is. We got an entire... all of this to make one portable miner per minute. Got a dimensional depot, chock-a-block full of them. This entire thing is completely done. I built this really elaborate shutter gate just to hide some clipping. And I'm really happy with how it came out. I think this shutter gate is mwah, just beautiful. I did something similar when Pub and I were designing the Fixmas factory, but this is definitely an evolution on that concept that turned out really, really well. But again, all of this is just making 120 iron per minute to make one portable miner per minute. It's actually over capacity, but I just didn't care about balancing it at all. Factory is something you strictly are going to need a finite amount. Very cool. Again, I will never need to make an equipment bench to make a portable miner ever again. So that I can just always be able to plop down miners whenever I need them. And then I just have this little, you know, little kiosk since I could. Like, you can come in and you can grab them. Have a productive day. Some scaffolding on the side so you can climb up on in or walk up on in. And then this giant billboard just because I wanted to do something with this roof. And I think it turned out really well, actually. I think this turned out way better than I expected. I think that turned out really well. I'm super happy with this, even though it is unbelievable overkill for what it's worth. Did you get into Neon White since you mentioned the movement? I haven't gotten into Neon White yet, no. I've never actually played it. It looked interesting, and then I just never played it. I recommended it to a friend. I don't think he ever played it either. That's the portable miner factory. I don't like that this thing powers on whenever you get into render distance of it. Where to next? Let's go to our circuit board factory. Slash... I tore down the sulfur factory there. And have all the excess making nobelisks. So I have nobelisks fully automated for what I need. I should probably check that off in automation, but we'll figure that out. I need to tear this down once I get an actual fuel power plant going. Set up a little more geothermal. I'll show you. I ventured into the Red Forest. And then just DI right on down to the circuit board factory, which is a factory in two parts. So right now what you're seeing here is the end. So this is taking plastic and copper sheets. Plastic is coming from this train station that we will explore. Copper sheets are all coming from over there, up over yonder on the mountain, coming on down, getting processed into 240 copper sheets per minute, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Something like that, yes. And then 480 plastic is coming on over this way. Going up into the conveyor poles. And then the copper loops back around. And this, I won't lie, the manifolding for this is a little gross. But you know what? It's also kind of elegant in a way. I haven't shown the oil rig yet. The way that it loops up the side, and then I've got the little side conveyor there. I'm quite happy with this, actually. The way that the production lines intersect with the finished product line like that. I think that's pretty neat. That's all the circuit boards that I will ever need for this stage of the game. And then all the excess gets synced. Or sunk. I'm not really sure. And then we have our train line over here. Which... will we be able to ride it? I need to wait for this to be empty. Because I think I want to ride the train just for the novelty of it all. But I have to wait until this is fully done unloading. Does this game have a good OST? It has a lot of ambient music, I would say. It's not the kind of OST you really notice all the time. But whenever you do notice it, it's quite nice. It's very relaxing. A lot of the biomes actually have unique music that uses unique instruments that I really like. The desert biome, in particular, has a nice music. It's got I think it's a steel drum that I really love. Unhinged train station naming convention. Circuit station off, as in offboarding. And then the other one is called circuit station on, as in onboarding. Extremely psychotic. By which I mean completely fucking normal. What are you talking about? This is taking a long time to unload. Off means it's offline. Okay. Jelly, that looks like your station is turned off. You wouldn't understand. You wouldn't get it. How much plastic do you need to unload here? Holy shit. This carries 480 per minute. Okay, I wanted to wait for the train, but this is taking too long. Is it sunk cost fallacy? It would be faster for me to just slide jump my way on over. Call it load and drop like a normal person? No? I guess it's limited by the belt. The station does have 2 output. Yeah, I have the maximum belt throughput that I can do at the moment. Whenever I can upgrade my throughput, I'll definitely be able to offload a lot faster. But for now, 480 is unfortunately the maximum. It doesn't actually mess with the efficiency at all. As you can see, it's operating still at full capacity. But, you know, whenever I'm trying to show off, in, out, or input, output are also accepted. I reject all of your naming conventions. This is why you put buffers on train stations so you can load, unload faster. But it's not actually affecting the efficiency. It's just affecting me being able to show it off on stream. I wish I could at least check what was inside the storage container while I was waiting. I guess while I'm waiting, I can show you the throughput of it all. I've got it coming down here. I've got these reinforced windows, so you can see it all going on through. Got these nice little scaffolds coming up here. And I have gone beyond the point of no return. I am simply slide jumping across. These are not the modular rails that I've developed. These are very much like a touch-and-go, very utilitarian blueprint rail design that I made because I was making my first train station, and I didn't want anything too complicated, too permanent, that would take up too much space. So we get these, and I think they're quite nice, all things considered. A little bulky, perhaps, but they get the job done. And this leads back to our plastic factory, which I believe I have showed off on stream before, so there's not a lot that that's really new for me to show off here. Again, as you can see, the throughput isn't affected at all. Again, all these color-coded pipes. I do have now a Pioneer Railgun. Oh, hold on. So I can get back to the main bridge from here. So we got that, which is nice. We'll use that in just a sec. And then over here, If train transit time is significant, that's time the factory shuts down. Not if I have their end resources going into a sink whenever there's overflow. I really have thought of it all. Anyway, over here, we've got our liquid biofuel factory. All of this is being fueled by a slightly overclocked, impure crude oil node. So this is just making plastic. It's just making 60 plastic, which is enough to make 120 empty canisters per minute, so that I can make packaged liquid biofuel, which again is very, very efficient for the type of travel that I usually do. This factory basically never really needs to be in full capacity. I only really have these sunk so that there's not backup on this part of the production, so that it can actually continue to process, wow, that's so much louder than I thought, the excess, or rather the residual fuel that it's making, which is just giving me a slight little bonus of 250 milliwatts, which isn't a lot, but, it's residual fuel. I have nothing else to do with it, so why not get a little extra power on the grid? That's enough fuel for this entire factory, I think. And then over here, we've got the water, refineries. Whenever I have... Do I have sticks and branches and leaves on me right now? I don't. But whenever I do, it gets processed over here with the water and then refined into liquid biofuel. Liquid biofuel goes over here into the packagers with these empty canisters and gets packaged into packaged liquid biofuel, of which I have quite a hearty supply, as you can see. I do not think that I will ever reasonably run out of this, considering that I have had this in operation for about 5 days of playtime, and I have only used less than 200 stacks. It is very, very fuel efficient. So if you're getting your jetpacks and you want fuel that will get the job done, it doesn't have a lot of lift to it, but as far as lateral movement and maintaining velocity across large horizontal distances, this is the fuel to go for. Very easy to produce, not self-sustaining, but very plentiful, very efficient. Oh, and look who's ready here. Look who's raring to go. This one, we're waiting on it to be completely full, and once again, it annoys me that we can't check if it's full, but again, that's at my maximum throughput, so oh well. Going on over here, it annoys me a little bit that that's not symmetrical in a way that I couldn't really explain the symmetry of, but it's not, so it annoys me. Anyway, back to the mainland. And we're off. I had a lot of fun building that train line. That was very much like a, I need to understand how train works, let me build this. I have ventured ever so slightly into Spider County for one reason and one reason alone. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm glad we came over here. Straight over the Red Forest, usually. I didn't know that I left this guy hanging here. Goodbye, Foundation. Anyway, let me get on over here. Right over this massive uranium deposit. And then over here, as you can see, there was some geothermal energy that needed tapping. In order to tap this resource... First screen streamer today is a treat. Thank you, Moa. That means a lot. So, in order to tap this resource without having to deal with spiders, I built Foundation over and then just built stairs down as much as I needed until I could get just close enough to place the geothermal plants, set up a blueprint for this entire setup just so I wouldn't have to build it myself there specifically and set that down. And as soon as it was done, I peaced out forever. I am not coming back here until I get cluster nobelisks and I go scorched fucking earth on this entire biome. Anyway, we're going to fly over top and hopefully not gather the attention of any spiders, because if I do, I am going to respawn on the spot. I will just die of inefficiency midair if that happens. It kind of sucks that this biome sucks so much, because I think the only 2 normal uranium deposits in the entire game are in the Red Forest, and there's also some of the only, like, convergences of sulfur and coal in that area as well. Which sucks, because I would love to just make a Nobelisk factory. There's one in Brazil. Yeah, Brazil is equally terrible. Hold on a minute. I don't think I've opened this one. One moment. Everyone say hi to Ruby. In the meantime, I'm just going to do this the old-fashioned way. Oh yeah, I definitely have a pin here. Silica, aluminum casing. Ah, she's really going for it. Circuit boards, not really necessary anymore. Oh, it's just operational. Well, don't mind if I do. What do you have to say for yourself, Ada?
Surface genetic sampling indicates this freighter may have come from a planet run by apes.
No way. Wonder if they could talk, perhaps even sing. It was Earth all along. Nine Souls crossover. Nine Souls looked good. I'm tempted to play it myself. It looked fun. And we got a banger Chan out of it. Talisman Chan's very nice. Great work on her, Merrick. This is very ugly. Ignore this. Even though I'm... I'm floating right on down specifically to show it to you. I think it's done making stuff, though, so I can tear it all down. This was just to get rid of all of the Nobelisks that I could. I fed all of the black powder that I made into these assemblers. And now I can get rid of it. I'm probably going to get rid of this whole line here at some point. We'll figure it out. But this is just so I can make a bunch of Nobelisks. So now I have those as I need them for now. Still very proud of this motor factory, I must say. It's quite nice. Change this into a radio tower so that I can start covering some ground with those. And then... Are you excited for Greg Chun? I am very excited for Greg Chun, yes. Let's head on back over to Bridge 4. Much, much better presence visually there now. And then from Bridge 4, we can head out back on over to the oil rig. I wonder if I should do something about that or just leave it looking like a circuit board. I can never tell. I'm probably going to tear down that versatile framework factory at a certain point. Because I'm going to need to make modular frames for another one of the space factory, or space elevator materials, but we'll figure it out. Here is the oil rig. Still a work in progress, though we have made quite a lot of progress on it indeed, as you may be able to tell. A lot of the finishing touches as far as the logistics have been put in place. Some of the visuals, as you can see as well. We're going to put a little command tower here. Not sure what exactly we're going to put in here, but it looks nice. It's gotten much, much larger. I think we added 2 more floors. I got this water tower up here that I'm really proud of. I had to build diagonal foundations so that I could get these to turn diagonally instead of being horizontal, so that I could get them all nice and symmetrical like this. I'm so happy I did it. It was well worth the effort. So it comes up, and then into the buffer, and then right back down. Jelly was very concerned that water tower plus radio towers looked like a penis. Pub, that was your concern and your concern alone. In fact, you were so concerned about it, you said that we should use the small buffers. I made the exact same joke. Thank you, Merrick. I made the exact same joke. And I said no, because if we're going to use buffers at all, we should use the big ones. And it worked out perfectly, which is proof that Pub should always trust my judgment, which he doubts often. It looks great. And speaking of things that look great, that Pub doubted me on, everyone say hello to this elevator of mine own invention. This elevator is designed in such a way that you are able to take a hypertube from one floor to any other floor of your choosing, as opposed to a more pedestrian design, perhaps pitched by a certain sandwich in chat, where one might only be able to go from the floor above to the floor below, or vice versa. This elegant design allows one to traverse the entire structure with ease. Allow me to demonstrate. We're currently on Refinery Floor 2, as labeled by not only these lovely signs, but as indicated by the resources produced on this floor as well. And let's say we wish to go down to the other refinery floor. Why, we simply hop into the hypertube elevator, and here we are. Welcome to Refinery Floor 1. And if we wish to go right back up, we shall. Want to go all the way down to the bottom? Simple as. All the way down to the bottom. And then right back on up to the top. The hypertube railgun segments serve a dual purpose, not only of allowing a pioneer to enter at any floor with ease without having to take up more space and perhaps being sucked in as they walk by, but also, as you may be able to tell from the upward momentum, since hypertubes are influenced by gravity in their velocity, adding the railgun segments to this design allows a pioneer to maintain upward velocity when traversing multiple floors at a time. One of my finest designs to date, I must say. Allow me to find the very complicated blueprints and schematics for this design. I believe you'll be able to tell from the very beginning it was quite a refined concept. Let me just look through here. Where are my blueprints? Where are my blueprints? Yes, here they are. Let me just get that open real quick. Discord will let me. Perfect. So, let me open window capture. So, as you can see, all of the general functions of the device are clearly laid out in this detailed diagram showcasing its functionality. As you can see, it allows you to get from any floor to any other floor. Truly the height of American engineering. And as you can tell, due to my thorough pre-planning, it worked like a charm. Exactly as shown on the diagram, no? The one side going up, the other side going down, the various lines extending between the floors. I am really quite proud of this, though. It was very satisfying when I got it all built out. And look at it, it works nice. I was able to label it really well. All this really nice signage and everything. It's looking good. We're still setting up the logistics floors as well, but as you can see, Pub is the one that's been doing these, and they look quite nice. I feel the urge to rebuild a bunch of stuff. I think that's a compliment, so I'm going to take this one. I'm very flattered. I'm glad I'm able to influence you in a creative direction. It was a lot of fun building this, though. This was one of the most fun builds I've done in the game yet. This, by the way, is 3 signs. Label sign, and then a square sign that's just there to mimic this one sign. So all the signage is consistent across each floor. So Refinery Floor 2, go all the way up. And it's Refinery Floor 2, R2. I'm really, really happy with how that all came out. And this central pillar turned out really, really cool, too. I can't wait for this build to be finished and actually start producing stuff. Over here, this is just all the residual fuel that it's going to make. This is just going to be a fuel little power plant. This is like the main export of this entire refinery, of this oil rig, is just a bunch of plastic and rubber that will be shipped wherever it's needed. And then, speaking of Pub, the other thing that I wanted to show off is the next phase of that. Obviously, since we're going to be transporting it via railroad, I have been designing... Well, let me take my hypertube back to Slug Island so that I can show it off in a adequate place with level ground and plenty of open space. I have been designing a modular railroad that can accommodate any turn as needed, still looks nice, doesn't take up a ton of space. And I think it's going pretty well so far. Let's land right here. Alright. So, right now it is a railroad in 3 parts. Blueprint, transportation. So we have the... where is it? Rail platform. That's the wrong one. It is railway is the ones that I'm looking for. Railway railway segment. Which, you know what? I'll just plop it down. Then we can explain how it works as we go. I've got these set up with half pillars, specifically so that whenever I build a second one to connect it to, and they connect with one another, it forms the full pillar. Got 4-meter concrete and then 1-meter metal in the middle, so it looks like some metal bands connecting through it to give it more structural support. And then underneath here, I'm going to have hypertubes, right? That go both directions, so bidirectional hypertubes, and they will connect between each rail segment so that wherever these rails go, you'll be able to travel cleanly between them through these hypertubes. Once again, these segments are both to make connections easy and also to maintain velocity over greater distances. So, I've tested that out. It works really well. And then the other 2 segments, one is a little less exciting. is the railway half segment, which you may be able to tell by the name, is just half of a railway segment. Two of these combined makes one railway segment. Right? Nothing special going on there. But the reason this exists is because of this railway cross junction. Let's set that on down here. This is here if we need to make a turn. Give it a sec to render in. It's got a clean 90-degree turn. It's a little choppy, but I was able to curve the foundations relatively well. And it's got all the fixins to make it connect cleanly with all the other parts. Now, I'll delete this one so that you can see how it works. In theory, if we set up multiple like this, let's say we want to make a full cross junction. Set it up like that. Alright. So, rail connects to here, here, to here. And then we're going to have to set up these rails here as well. Just so that we can get an illustration of how this all works. Oh boy. Just do it. I wish that you could nudge railways, but unfortunately you can't. Set this up here to here. Go. Did you know you can middle mouse pick blueprints when you're in blueprint deconstruction mode? I did know that, yes! I don't use that as often as I really should. It's very convenient. Right. So now that we've got all of those going every which way, let's say that we want to go from this rail here, and we've got a train that's on this right track, and we want to get it to the right track over here so that it can make a left turn. Connect it from here over to here. Clean. We can do that with every single other connection as needed. Full cross junction. And it can get really messy if we want it to, because it can also connect straight across. Or at least, it was letting me connect it straight across. Oh, there we go. Well, not quite, but you get the idea. Now, the reason, obviously, we would not want it to go every single which away on every single rail that we make. But let's just say, for example, we want to make a T-junction. Let's just delete these two cross-sections. Get rid of that, get rid of that. That, get rid of that. Get rid of those two. Alright. Say we want to make a T-junction instead. We would simply take our half segments and connect them like so on either side of the cross junction here. There we go. And it might not work as elegantly as I... No, this will work exactly how I want it to. That goes there. That goes... Oh, railroad track is too short. Okay, so that's something I'm going to need to mess with in the blueprint designer. Although, it's technically going to connect to another rail, but that'll be fine. That'll be fine. We'll go there. It has exactly as much space as it'll need in the actual railroad designer. And then that goes there. So now, we'll be able to go from here over to here. Here, got an achievement for setting down railroads. over to here. And just like that, we've got a clean T-junction set up. All with the use of those modular rail blueprints. The Satisfactory lets you control which path the train will take. Sure does. As soon as you set up a path that bridges, it sets up a toggle switch. And I'm assuming there's stuff that will allow you to choose the path that a train takes on it. But, again, there you go. Clean T-junction, routes power through it, and routes travel through it as well. I haven't gotten a chance to fully utilize this yet, but I'm really happy with it. So as soon as I get a chance to actually implement that into one of my factories, I will be very excited to show that off on the next Satisfactory Saturday. I was hoping that I could try and get it finished before today, but that didn't end up panning out. But that's fine. At least I got to show off the railroad blueprint itself, which I am very, very proud of. And now we've got a bunch of stuff in our inventory. I think that about covers it for the stuff that I have to show off for now, which is rough because I've still got about an hour and a half of airtime to fill. Although I suppose with that hour and a half, I could just start setting up some stuff that I have on this blueprint. Maybe I could even set up a little railroad. Hub is yelling at me because he wants to show off our finished Fixmas factory, so we will do just that. Give me 1 second. We will save real quick. Use the calculator to respawn some foliage up for the shrine up there, so it looked better. Exit to desktop. Oh, wait. No, exit to main menu. There we go. And let's get on in there. Join game. Pub roll. In we go. Love every time you show off new stuff, there's so many changes. It's like a completely different place each time. Except for the house. Yeah. I like that too. I feel like I can get a lot done in a week. It feels like the perfect little interval for me to do a little show and tell before Joe does Umineko. I like this format. I'm glad I committed to it, because I, as you may be able to tell, really love this game. This is probably one of my favorite games that I've played in a while. So C8, I'm almost certain you requested it as a joke, but thank you very much for doing so. This has been an absolute delight. This is what I need to build on my Slug Island, by the way. I need to get a roller coaster. That's a high priority, is to get a Slug roller coaster going. Where are we going, Pup? Fixmas? You going to Christmas Island? You sure are. Alright. You first. And we're off. Pub's railgun segments are a lot closer together than mine, I've noticed. Mine are not very space efficient. So here's Pub's giant railroad junction that he's made. But that's not important yet, I think. Because first, we have to show off our completed Fixmas factory. 'Tis the season on the 25th of January. I thought I was bullying you with the suggestion. I went in fully expecting you to be bullying me as well. I did not expect to enjoy this nearly as much as I did. Let me switch to my hover pack for ease of navigation. Alright, so you've already seen all this jazz. You've already seen all the railway stations, but here is the completed exterior to Santa's workshop. Got the candy cane corner supports here with the snowman on top. Got all of these trees producing gifts, even though I don't think these do anything anymore. This is honestly a bit of a mess. Don't look too closely at it. Down here, this is where all the gifts come in, and you can see again, this is the kind of the prototype of that shutter gate I built on my automated miner factory, which here it's just a basic wall clipped in there and then a metal beam. The reason why I redesigned the shutter gate the way that I did is because if these painted beams weren't here making this log cabin gingerbread structure, you would be able to see the top half of this clipping through other wall segments. So you have to design something to cover it all up. Go down inside. Here's all of the cleanly hidden logistics. Never mind the fact that the corner is clipping into it. Don't worry about that. Got the catwalk above. All of these lights, which do lag the game because of just how much is going on there. Light switch for controlling said lights. These are at like 10% intensity, I believe. Let's go through the chimney to get out of here, although there is... I don't know what this is for, but another shutter gate and a tractor. They're also slightly blue as well, yes. Then we go up and out the chimney. Got a two-way hypertube there, so that you can go in through the chimney, as any self-respecting claws would. And then if we come on over here, we've got the runway with all the reindeer. So, we have Rudolph, who used to play Christmas music, but no longer does. So we have the little Fixmas factory cart. And then all of the explorers for all of the reindeer. And then, of course, Santa's sleigh in the back. And then we have the humble abode of all of these reindeer. As you can see, Pub is demonstrating these little, I don't know what to call them, little barn sleeping areas, what have you, will perfectly accommodate one explorer. We did not plan on that. It just sort of worked out like that. So, of course, Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. I thought, okay, never mind. And of course, the most famous reindeer of all, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, who gets a full Caterium setup with a bed of grass to lay on, an infinite conveyor belt of presents, snowman, a snow dispenser. Rudolph just gets so much more than all of the other reindeer. When Pub and I were building this, we asked ourselves, is this too mean? To which we answered, yes, of course, but it's also very funny, so it stays. All the other ones get, like, fucking welded, riveted steel floor to sleep on. Meanwhile, Rudolph has polished gold and a bed of grass. Blitzen gets a wreath because that's Pub's favorite. He thinks that Blitzen is the coolest reindeer name. I'm contractually obligated to say that it's Rudolph, otherwise we might lose our funding. This was I won't lie to you folks. This is probably like where 40% of the build time went. We did not budget our time very efficiently. Most of the time spent building this entire factory was spent on the runway and reindeer kennel. And then we have the Fixmas tree with all of the floodlights on it, sitting up on the mountaintop. All of this, by the way, does nothing at all now, because the Fixmas event is over, so I don't think you can create Fixmas materials anymore. Oops. So this just sort of looks real pretty. Oops. Let's see, does it make anything? Oh yeah, I mean it produces. It produces. There's nothing you can do with it, but it sure does. Whenever Christmas returns next year, it will all spin back up to life. As I'm sure Santa's real factory does in the North Pole. I think one of my favorite things about this game, genuinely, is... Let me just fly on up here to see if it'll help me illustrate my point. Uh-oh. I'm not going to have enough. Hold on. Oh. Get on this ladder. Yes, you may. Let me just climb on up this ladder here real quick. Sinking stars is worth a lot. It is not. I'm pretty sure stars are only worth... Everything from the Fixmas event is only worth 1 in the sink. Pretty sure. But just take a look at this. Alright? One of the things that I love about this game, and I will sing its praises forever, is the fact that this is a set world. This is just one handcrafted world that is not, like, randomly generated or anything. This is all pre-gen. And so whenever I join Pub's game, and I come over to this area, it looks absolutely nothing like mine whatsoever. I see all of these familiar locations, and none of my structures are here at all. And I just think it's really, really cool that anytime you see someone's game, or see someone else play the game, and check out their world, everyone's playing on the same world, and it's all going to look completely different. Even though it's all in the same place. I really, really love that about this game. It's one of my favorite parts. For sure. This is not my beautiful factory. These are not my beautiful slugs. And you may find yourself sitting in a Caterium factory. Did you cut off the trains? What? Why'd you do that? It annoys me to no end that Pub just sets shit down like this. I don't know how you could possibly live like this. This would drive me insane. I would not be able to focus on anything until I fixed this. I sleep like a baby at night. Makes sense, you act like one when you're awake. Fucking got him. Got him, owned. So here's Pub's delightful overpass to deal with that whole junction issue. No messy junction needed. Just go over it. Oh, no, no, no. Get me out of the water. Get me out of the water. This is a one-way input junction. I see. I see. So, again, here's Pub's big old train station. This is his train stacker for ore input. I think. Do you literally just is this where all the ore gets refined, or is this just processing the ore into ingots? But yeah, he just has a massive flat foundation here, completely covered in refineries. This is the most Factorio brain setup I have ever seen in my entire life. Look at this sea of refineries here. Look at how compact these belts are. This is actually quite beautiful. I'm very envious, personally. I wish that my belts could be so organized. This is a really cool balancer that Pub got online. I have no idea how they even made this or how it works at all, but I think it's a 4-to-4 balancer. Is that right? Yeah, 4-to-4. Very cool. I think if we want to see how it works, we can check out his power plant in a bit. Oh, lagging. Oh, lagging a little. Oh, oh no. Uh-oh. I hate that, like, at least put supports here. Like, some suggestion of something that is holding this up. So it's not just suspended in midair. Please! It's all I ask! My kingdom for some structural integrity! What do you mean you can't? Because it'll clip with the why would that matter? Yeah, you just put it here. I'm not asking you to put foundation the entire way through. I'm asking like a metal beam or something. Like that. That's all you need. Something like this. Something. Is stream still live? Are we good? Or are we dead? Haven't started decorating yet. I don't know. Structural integrity immersion break or clipping immersion break. What a choice. There's no choice to be made. You can have both. Or neither, rather. You can have... I mean, I guess you can have both if you want. But you don't need either. You just put the structural integrity somewhere where it doesn't clip. God, it's so... The logistics are all so cleanly routed. But I could never live like this. I just couldn't. I could never. I also would never be able to use these coatings on the refineries because of the way they load in. Can't live being efficient. Aesthetics are the end game of any good game. Anyone can optimize, alright? But it takes a true pioneer to do it with style. I don't know what you're pointing at. Are you pointing out the clipping here? I don't like being in water. Like the slightly misaligned water extractors. I hate that you cannot nudge water extractors. I hate like fucking am from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, hate that you cannot nudge water extractors. These things are so annoying to try and place in a symmetrical way. If you put foundations underneath, it'll snap to the foundations. But you can't put foundations underneath because then it says the resource isn't too deep. If you respawn over water, you sink to the bottom. Don't like that. No thank you. Nuh-uh. See, here's the thing. I hate water. However, every time I played Minecraft, I would be the guy that's like, can we please make an underwater base with windows? I think that'd be really cool. And it always was. I was always right. Show off my beautiful box factory steel factory. Okay. On our way. Ugh. Dies of inefficiency. Right. Where were we? Or where are we, rather? Oh, my slide jump didn't work. Slide jumping is such a game changer. Why does this game have such good mobility? So here's Hub's Steel Factory. Looking real nice. This was an accident, he said. He didn't... It just sort of ended up being exactly one lower than where the floor is. Or where he wanted the balcony floor to be. So he added this little catwalk area, and I think it looks great. He obviously thinks it looks great too. Otherwise, he wouldn't, you know, do that. Got these balconies. Are these new? Or do you just... No, there's not. They're not new. They're not new. I love these little framing sections. These are nice. I think you need more windows, personally. Or you need to stylize the windows a little more. Something. But the catwalks and everything, the balconies look great. You also need to make liquid biofuel. Because turbo fuel gets spent so fast. Although, well, no, I don't know that you necessarily don't need it. But you have hover packs now, so you need it less. We going inside? Ooh. Excuse my yawn. Sorry, I haven't slept. If anyone was wondering, I got home from work. I played Balatro for 2 hours. And then and then I started streaming. I worked 10 to 7. Oops. Although I slept before work, so I mean, you know, I did get my sleep in. First balancer. Yeah, it sure is balancing, huh? Over a precipice, perhaps. But balancing nonetheless. Again, I love all this unbelievably Factorio-brained logistics pathing. Hope Umineko is entertaining today. I am probably... Again, I don't think I'm listening to the Umineko streams. I might tune in. But it's probably going to be a fan art and For Honor day for me today. Go to bed so we can finish the oil factory. I'll sleep at some point. I definitely need to, so I will. For Honor just released a new hero. New character. Khatun, I think? She's a Mongolian warrior with two scimitars, two curved swords. She's very fun. She's weird, though. She's very strange. The way that she's designed. In a good way. She's really, really heavily based around soft feints. She reminds me a bit of Aramusha. In in that, like, her entire kit is based around, like, oh, look at this slow attack, and then bam, I slap you with a side soft feint. Except she can also soft feint her stuff into kicks to throw you off balance to start a chain, or get a guaranteed light to start a chain, or she can cancel it with a forward dash that deflects, which is kind of like a dodge parry from all directions. It's like this extended forward dash that will parry. So you can throw an attack, and let's say someone tries to counter it with a light, and you predict that they're going to counter it with a light. You can soft feint into your dash, and then just deflect it, and get them into your pin mix-up. And all your stuff leads into this heavy pin finisher mix-up, which you can either, out of it, do a guaranteed light attack that does a little damage, but is really fast. So let's say you're in a group fight, you just want to get a little damage off real quick. You can pin and do a heavy attack, which is slower, but does more damage. So if you're just doing a one-on-one fight, that's the one you go for. Or you can do a zone attack, which isn't guaranteed, but has armor, so if you're in a group fight and you want to try and get people off you that are trying to attack, you slap them with that. I wonder if I should stream more For Honor, maybe. If I get a better capture card, maybe it'd be in the works. But either way, she's really fun. I still quite love For Honor. I haven't been playing it as much often, but you know what? I like that. I like that For Honor is a live service game that I do not feel completely and utterly tethered to. This is why you need to play Jedi Knight Academy. It's in the list. Again, next up is going to be Warcraft 3, and then, unfortunately, I am going to have to play Mass Effect Andromeda. But I don't think Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be that bad. In fact, I might hazard to say Warcraft 3 might be worse because it's an RTS. And I don't think I will be good at an RTS. I think I will be quite bad at Warcraft 3 in ways that you could have never imagined and that Blizzard could not possibly have designed for. I'm scared. I think if you really wanted to torture me, you'd probably get me playing StarCraft 2, but that's a horse of a whole different color and breed. I think. I don't know, actually. That could be a fun model to make. A big old power armor. Maybe give you a cigar in the mouth. Not really mouth, but cigar somewhere in there. Games with bad story but good gameplay aren't miserable, but good story and bad gameplay are. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty is actually the best RTS campaign ever made. You motherfucker. You motherfucker. You know, I should have guessed. I should have guessed that you would do that. I should have guessed. You son of a bitch. Okay, look forward to StarCraft. You know what? Should I... No. Should I just do a whole RTS gauntlet then? Maybe I should do Warcraft 3 and then back-to-back Warcraft to StarCraft? And then Minecraft, perhaps? It did go through. Arrow, I swear to God. Choose your channel points redeem wisely. You are under the eyes of an angry god. Red Alert 2? That's all... You son of a bitch! Pub redeemed Red Alert 2. And then changed it. So that it would be Warcraft 3 instead. And now you're getting me in on Red Alert 2 anyway? Okay, well, the stream schedule has changed, chatters. We will not be doing Mass Effect Andromeda after Warcraft 3. We're having an RTS fucking buffet, I suppose. The realest time strategy, the realest time dilemma, perhaps, you will ever get to experience. I had to do it for the bit. You know what? I don't respect your decision, but I understand it. Let's hope it won't immediately be Factorio tier. I doubt that it will. I don't think I will be that bad, really, at RTS. I think it is just a genre that I have not engaged with enough to even conceptualize the appeal of. I don't know how else to phrase that. I have never once looked at an RTS and been like, oh, hell yeah, yes please, get me in there. I would love for my real time to be spent on this strategy. So, you know. I guess we're certainly in for an illuminating experience. Whether or not the light bulb short circuits and kills everyone in the building remains to be seen. But there will be light. Red Alert 2 is very easy. I beat it when I was a child. How hard could it be? But Pub, that was like 70 years ago. Everyone knows that video games were super easy back then. I mean, come on. Pong is the easiest game ever invented. Everyone knows that video games have only gotten harder ever since the invention of Dark Souls, and every game before that is really easy. Video games were really hard, but it was offset by plentiful cheat codes. Yeah, nowadays we call those macro transactions. So you're playing Warcraft 2 for... I'm playing Warcraft 3 first. Red Alert 2 might be rough. Are you also going to play StarCraft 1 and Brood War? If you've got the popcorn to redeem it, I suppose, you know, I am sworn to carry your burdens. But it's not in the docket as of yet. I will say I am looking forward to it, though. As illustrated by Satisfactory itself, a game that I never, ever in a million years would have played of my own volition if I was not forced to play it. Branching out in terms of genres I did not expect sometimes has really good results. Right? You know, I would never have played this game if C8 hadn't redeemed it, and now this is one of my favorite games, like, that I have played in years. This to me is capturing all of that wonder and that desire to create that Minecraft did when I was a kid. And I really, really enjoy that, because for the longest time, I mean, I say for the longest time, I suppose that time is continuing to be long as it is currently ongoing. I have not been able to really enjoy Minecraft or anything of the, you know, survival craft variety. So something like this that heavily reels back the survival elements and just makes it more of a, you know, a crafting game really, really appeals to me. Ow. I'm waiting. Did I show the Circuit Factory? I don't think you did. No. From the depths? What's from the depths? Here's my only worry. If I play an RTS and I like it, I'm afraid that I will become, I suppose fitting for my shape perhaps, but derivative squared in the sense that I will just become some mangled amalgamation of Mandalore and Joe. But we shall see. Perhaps my life is simply too normal to ever emulate anything that Mandalore has going on. That's not a bad person to be. Yeah, but that person already exists, is the thing. Trying to get you into Total Warhammer? That game has co-op? Oh, God. Let's just start small, yeah? Microdose me on the poison before you fucking kill me with it, alright? At least let me try to build up a tolerance. Is this Joseph Mangalore in the room with us right now? He could well be. I suppose the fate of that question all rests on whether or not I end up enjoying Warcraft 3. Excuse me. So this is Pub... Oh, my legs! This is Pub's circuit board factory. You know, it's just a little bigger than mine. You know, it's just a little more complicated in terms of the structure and perhaps the scale. Actually, no, I don't think it is. I think it's just all in one place. And then, oh, dude, Pub, how do you live? Why is there a random? How do you live like this, dude? What are you doing? Why? Why would you do this? Oh my god, it's... Ugh! Why? It's functional. You know? For the price, it's worth it, I suppose. It keeps the hunger away. Imagine how it'd flex if the rails had physics. I'd personally like to not do that. If that's okay with you. I wouldn't want to imagine that. I wouldn't want to imagine the terrifying stress that's being put on these rails. Pub, what the fuck are you doing? What? What are you doing with the... Why? Why? I mean, this I've seen. This isn't too bad on its own. I mean, I wish there was maybe a little more foundation to it. But I understand why you didn't really prioritize the aesthetics of your intercontinental railroad here. You know. The Pony Express can only do so much for their brand. But this is quite nice. What's going on? Thank you, yes. I see the bore. I'm aware. I also see the random staircase you built that you won't get rid of for some reason. I don't know why I'm... Just use hovercraft. Rails carry electricity. You can use your hover pack the whole way through. Even though it's not as fast. This is a starting biome, by the way. I wonder if there's a Factorio mod that just gives you a random start. There probably... Sorry, Satisfactory mod that gives you a random start. This seems like a really cool area to start in. I know that I would probably get too overwhelmed and not dedicate, like, my full attention to the save if I did, but I would like to make another save and start in a different location. I think it's really cool that the game has different starting locations like that. If you want a random start, just pick a direction and walk from the starting location. I did it and ended up in the canyon. Ooh, interesting. which is different from the actual Start 3. These rails are noodly. There isn't really a clean way to adjust for this level of elevation, which is rough, but, you know. I think if it were me, I would probably find one level of elevation that worked for a, like, entire kind of rail segment. I don't know how else to do that. And then I would just sort of bring the belts and the resources down to that level instead of trying to mess with the elevation of the rails themselves, since that's not as clean. That would definitely take a lot more work, but I think that would be a lot more aesthetically pleasing. This is where I'm planning my aluminum factory. Let me see. This is a nice little area. I wish that the Red Forest wasn't the way that it was, because this biome looks gorgeous. I do love the look of this area. I don't know how I feel about these Dr. Seuss-ass balloon trees. But, you know, the jury's out on that. I could just tear those down if I don't like them. You missed a spot. There you go. The Lorax will be hearing about this. I had success with stopping spawns just by laying streetlights across the path, by the way. I lit up a cave with streetlights and it's safe now. Interesting. So are lights one of the items that maybe has a higher priority in terms of stopping enemy spawns? There's spiders up there? Yeah. Not a fan. No thank you. I fought one elite spider, and that was enough for me. Oh hey, it was actually right over there. That's where my quartz factory is. Or rather, where my quartz factory was. I don't really like that spot. I'm going to find a different one now that I have trains and everything. What are you building here? Is this going to be a nitrogen processing plant? Oh, the game is really lagging. This is where I'm going to make computers. Interesting. Do you have an alternate recipe? Also, what? You're just leaving... Oh, hello there, irradiated hog. You're just leaving her here? Come here, girl. There you go. Welcome aboard. God, how do you just slap down foundation like this? I lived like this once upon a time, and I can never go back. You need to have enough respect for yourself to not pave over the world. If I walk across the map, the game shits itself and starts lagging. I keep having to restart. I place the foundation, then trim it later. Why is paving bad? It just looks... It looks bad. I don't like it. It just does not look good. Wow, this biome is really pretty. The biomes in this game are just so good. Oh, hold on a minute. This is a nice little spot here. How much iron is this? Is this any good? Normal. Normal. Normal, and... Oh, nice open area with 4 pure normal iron nodes right next to water? Dipped in Mama Liz's chili oil? Sorry, that's a joke for Boulder, and he's not on stream right now. He'll have a fun time when he listens to it in the VOD, though. And then I think we've shown this off before, but this is Pub's power plant. The triple P, if you will. More Factorio, yes. This place is massive. It's fucking crazy how huge this place is. I won't even pretend to understand, or pretend like I understand what's going on here. But a lot of it sure is happening. I can say that much. I didn't have blenders? I see. Satisfactory really is full of things. The pipe routing is nice. So here's the balancer. Imagine a Katamari here. It would be so beautiful. Here's the balancer in action. So we've got all this packaged water coming in, as you can see, just in completely random assortments, essentially. And then it goes through the balancer, and just like that, cleanly separated, cleanly balanced, right onto the production lines. All in equal ratios. And then the storage container buffer there. I do like that the scaffolds connect cleanly between these. These are really nice. 64 fuel, all with 3... All with 3 times power shards. All of them. So you, Oh, that's gore. That's gore of my comfort character. Okay. So let it be known that Pub's power plant is, fueled by slug chain cruelty. I no longer support this ethically. Or morally. Unethically sourced power crystals. Unethically sourced. All of mine were synthetically created through Christmas spirit. I hope he at least uses Sommer Sloops for more shards. You know what? He probably doesn't. He probably doesn't even do that. Sommer Sloop processing plants like that are really, really nice, though. Only a couple were slooped. Not only did you kill them, you were wasteful. Disgusting! Disgusting! Unethical and inefficient! I cannot abide by this. Spiritually, morally, ethically, and by ethically, I also mean work ethically. Disgusting. All I see here is a slab of sin. Ooh, a hypertube. We... Directly over the Red Forest. Oh, it's lagging. Oh, we lagging. Little aluminum starter factory. Just, course correct. Course correct. Course correct. There we go. Nicely done. God, how do you live like this, dude? Listen, I thought it might... I didn't realize how consistent of a design element it was. I didn't realize how consistent it was. If I'd have known... Where are you? Oh, man. Over at the hub? Alrighty. good. Alright, I think unless there's anything else you want to show off, I'm going to head back to... Oh, okay. I guess there's a little something to show off. Right, of course, yes. Naturally. I still think that you should see if you can nudge this a half meter. And if giving it that slight angle to it will make you ricochet at an angle. I still think it's worth a shot. Nah, it looks like you just bounce off directly. Oh! Whoops-a-daisy. Hmm. And we're off. Fairly well. There's a giant oil rig here in my game. And there is nothing here. Oh man, we're going. We're going. Alright. I think I'm gonna load back into my game then, and we will see what we can do in about 30 minutes until Joe goes live. Exit to the main menu. When are you planning on streaming Warcraft 3? Well, tomorrow I'm hoping to do the art stream for the models, which means that I'm looking to start probably on Monday. I would say. Any model plans? Pub has sent me some characters. I have some ideas. Fixit will be very happy to know that one of them is very efficient. This is the same game, you can just make StarCraft Marine armor. You know what? Maybe I'll do all of them. I suspect Knights. It's Warcraft, so unfortunately we can't be so blessed. Expect disgustingly large pauldrons. Warcraft doesn't have any cool knights. Pub has shown me the armor. Here we go. Okay, so I don't actually know what I'm doing next. As you can see, I have a lot of things on the list, but I don't know which thing I'm going to tackle first. I think I should probably make an updated modular frame factory. And if that's going to be the case, let's see. I'm making an updated modular frame factory because I need to start making heavy modular frames. Right? And because I need heavy modular frames, we're going to be doing heavy encased, which means that I need a modular frame factory that is also producing steel. Which means that I am going to need to find a place to mass produce steel and iron. And I think I actually have just the place in mind. We can get on the train. We're not fast enough. We don't have enough momentum. We're going to miss it. We're going to miss the train. Damn it. Oh, man. Man. It does look really cool, though. I think... I don't know if I said it on stream, but Satisfactory, to me, I think has the appeal that, like, a model train set has. I think that is the appeal of factory games. Is taking the time to build this big, elaborate setup, and then just watching it all go. And even if it's not something that you completely designed from the ground up, and even if it's not completely original, it's just something that you yourself built, and you're watching it function. And there's a some innate joy in that action. Maybe it's not as profound as that, but, you know. I have an English degree. I have to use it somehow. Don't need steel, you can use iron pipes. Yeah, but the problem with the iron pipes is that they are incredibly resource heavy. Like, hold on. Steel pipes. Iron pipes cost 100 iron. 100 iron ingots per minute to make 25 steel pipes per minute. That's a 4-to-1 ratio for 25 steel pipes per minute. That just seems rough. Are molded iron pipes any good? Well, no, because that's still... Well, that's steel plus concrete, and I need concrete anyway, because I'm making, what is it? I'm making encased iron ingots. Let's see. Heavy modular frame. I'm going to be making encased, so I'm going to need... Oh my god, the ratios for this are disgusting. What do you mean 20.625 concrete per minute? What are you talking about? Give me normal numbers! What? How am I even supposed to calculate the lowest common multiple for this? What the fuck? That's disgusting! 2.812 per minute? What are you talking about? No! God, no! Oh my god! That's disgusting! That's disgusting! Okay, here's how we figure that out. Here's what we do, okay? Here's what we do. Where are my, I didn't... Hold on, real quick. Make a MAM, so I can process that hard drive. Okay, and then we get a manufacturer. Oh, that's the first time I've built one of those. Oops. Anyway, and we make encased modular frames, and then we take some of our remaining synthetic power shards. Just getting that up. 1, 2, 3. And then we play around with these overclock rates until we find a normal whole number that it will support. Oh, Christ. What if we just want to make 5 per minute? Oh, no. Oh, this is never going to be easy, is it? Oh, Jesus. Okay, what about 6? Those are whole numbers. I don't like them, but they are whole numbers. Ugh, God, that's gross. God, that's so gross. Okay, well then, what if we want to do 3 per minute? Okay. If we just want to do 3 per minute, I mean, it's slightly overclocking to get some more decent ratios. I could work with that. I wish I didn't have to work with that, but it's looking like that's probably going to be the cleanest whole numbers we're going to be able to get. Which means either I build some really weird factories and then underclock in order to get 8 modular frames per minute, which would still only give me 3 heavy modular frames per minute. Well, no, it would give me more. Well, no, it'd be 3 per minute. It'd be 3 per minute. Or, well, I guess it's 3 of 3 heavy modular frames. So that would be 9 heavy modular frames per minute. See, this is the hard part. This is the part that you don't see. Either way, I'm going to need steel production and iron production. I think that would be the easiest way to do it. Ugh, man. Or would it be worth it? I mean, no, because is the regular recipe bad too? 2 per minute. Okay, no, the regular recipe is fine. The only problem with the regular recipe, though, is that I need screws. And screws suck. No one wants to make screws. Like, the best part of the alternate recipes is usually optimizing around screws. Ugh. Interesting message. I will think on this. For now, we're going to take just a quick, like, 10-ish minute break. And then I think after that break, we will scout out the area for where I want to build this factory. I think I have a good idea of where it's going to get built, but I wanna look around. We need some sort of large-scale steel production. So, we shall see. I'll be back in a few. So chat. I finally got around playing Witness the other day. I was hankering for a puzzle game. I don't know how else to say it. I was really chomping at the bit for something to scratch that puzzle solving itch, right? Because I played Lingo a while ago, and that's still one of my favorite games of all time. Perhaps my favorite puzzle game of all time. Yes, more than Portal. And so I played The Witness because The Witness is a video game that happens to be of the puzzle genre, that has had many things said about it. Some good, some not so good. And I'm here to tell you, I have some not so good things to say about it. I didn't like that game at all. It sucked. I really did not like The Witness, unfortunately. It was rough. It was real rough, I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to like it. I really wanted to, okay? I like the idea of this world that almost exists as this large, abstract art piece based around the theme of perspective itself and different perspectives and stuff like that. And when the game is playing to that theme, when it is designing the world in such a way that you look at things from a certain angle, and it's the only way that you could ever see some specific image is by standing in this specific spot and looking at it from this specific angle. I really enjoyed that stuff, right? It has a lot of small moments scattered around its world where you go, oh, hey, look at that. And it's just really cool to see stuff like that. The environmental puzzles, when they did pop up, were the highlight of the puzzle-solving experience. But all of the other puzzles really were not. I think that is really the biggest thing to me, and there's a couple of things that are causing that. I do not think that the puzzle structure which The Witness presents is very compelling in the long term. And I say long term, understand that is a very abbreviated time scale, because of course, that's over the course of what, a 30 odd hour game or so, right? So long term really means, can it sustain that over those 30 hours? And I am here to tell you, it could not really sustain it over 5 for me personally. Drawing lines, it seems like it is going to be this very elegant system, which is gradually built upon with a variety of different mechanics. And to the game's credit, it does do a great deal to iterate on that concept of drawing lines. There are a lot of different mechanics, there are a lot of different rules, there are a lot of different modifiers to how exactly you solve the puzzle that make it a lot more dynamic, a lot more challenging, a lot more difficult to understand and to actually solve these puzzles. But the problem, I think, is that the solving of the puzzle itself is not very satisfying. A lot of the time, I found that I would understand the rule completely, and it was just a matter of trying to map out the correct direction in which to apply the rule to the puzzle. And I found that a lot of the time, applying the rule to the puzzle was never nearly as fun as learning the rule itself. I think when the game introduces a new concept, it usually does a very good job at introducing that concept in a series of relatively simple puzzles. I say usually, take that usually with a heavy, heavy grain of salt, because there are other times where I would say primarily due to the non-linear structure of the island itself, the game does not do a very good job of introducing those puzzle concepts. And there were a lot of times I found where I would encounter puzzle elements and just it would be the first time I interact with that puzzle concept, and I would just have absolutely no understanding of what it was asking of me whatsoever. And you just kind of have to give up when that happens, because there's not really any way to intuit the rules whenever you solve a more complex puzzle using them. If you accidentally solve a complex, like a higher end puzzle without knowing the mechanics, there is oftentimes not really any way I found to sort of reverse engineer the rules from that. If you didn't learn it from the place that you were supposed to learn it, usually even solving a puzzle would not cause you to learn that rule to begin with. So you were just sort of honestly in a worse off spot than you were before, because now you're pushing yourself into a more difficult area of challenge when you weren't prepared for the area before then, right? So I think the way that the game generally teaches you rules, when it is a more curated linear experience, it does a good job of it. But because of the non-linear structure of the game itself, it is heavily, heavily damaged by its rule set and how it goes about teaching it. And even when it does teach the mechanics well, I often found that it really overstayed its welcome on some of the mechanics. I didn't think, like, again, figuring out the rules was a very compelling experience. Applying them, not nearly as much most of the time. It did become more interesting whenever it started to compound mechanics, but in some areas like the treehouse, the treetop swamp, or treehouse swamp area, I found that it massively overstayed its welcome with the sheer amount of puzzles that it was asking me to solve with the rule set that it had given me. To the point where my main frustration was not so much figuring out how to solve the puzzle, but a sort of nebulous frustration with how many times it was asking me to solve a puzzle. And I think that if you find yourself playing a puzzle game and you come to a sort of impasse where your capacity or your patience with the game is becoming tested just by the thing that you came there to do, if you find yourself being like, fuck, I came here for the puzzle game, why is this game making me do so many puzzles? I think that is kind of a sign that the mechanics themselves are not very compelling. Right? I think Joe and I are in agreement in that sense. And so, you know, oftentimes I would just find myself getting really, really bored with a specific section or a specific combination of mechanics, because yes, it was really fun to solve the first 5 times, but now I'm on puzzle number 18, and I'm really, really getting tired of having to find the angle at which the light reflects off this specific shaft in order to show me half of the solution to this puzzle. Not to name any specific names, but man, some of those mechanics really overstayed their welcome. And I can't tell whether or not, like, I'm being hypocritical in the sense that Lingo is very similar to The Witness, in the sense that it is a puzzle game which does not contain any dialogue, and it teaches you all of its rules non-verbally and just through gameplay. You have to figure everything out. They're very similar games in that way. But I think something about Lingo, perhaps just because it was word puzzles rather than drawing line puzzles, really grabbed me in a way that I really found that The Witness just simply could not. Right? And another thing, unfortunately, while I am not above engaging in a little bit of highbrow art here and there, there is just something about The Witness to me, and perhaps it's my understanding of the creator Jonathan Blow. There's something about the game that just comes across as very pretentious to me, and I wish I didn't have that kind of lingering feeling, because I want to engage with the art in a very direct way. I want to sort of absorb the world and look at all of these small vignettes on perspective and find these little audio logs about perspective and listen to them. And I want to try and take it all in and try and synthesize some meaning from it. But it just feels very full of itself in a way that I can't quite pin my finger on. And I'm torn when it comes to that feeling, because I can't tell if something being pretentious is the art itself being flawed, or there being something flawed in my understanding of it or my capacity to engage with it, if that makes sense. And, you know, maybe, in a sense, I could view that as some small vignette on my own perspective of the game, if I want to get really pretentious myself about it. But that, one, feels like a cop-out, and two, doesn't solve the issue for me of, am I fully engaging with this art, or am I dismissing it because the vibes are off? But the core issue that I have with The Witness is just that as a puzzle game, it is not very mechanically compelling. And that just sort of makes everything fall apart. Is getting over it not satirical? It is, I would say getting over it is... Let me think. I don't think it's playing it completely straight, but I think it would be an insincere reading of the game to say that it is not operating on some level of sincerity or genuineness, personally. Especially towards the end of the game. It very much becomes a more sincere meditation on the ideas that the game is presenting. It has a guy in a pot and a hammer climbing the mountain. But I don't think that a statement like that is enough to dismiss the artistic integrity of it outright, personally. Because the game itself is a meditation on trash. Right? It is a meditation on trash and frustration. Right? And it is something that seeks to engage with those two concepts, not from a place of derision, but a place of sincerity. It is looking at that trash and taking it for what it is, and not trying to see it as something more or something lesser because it is trash. Right? it is obviously trying to become something that is more than the sum of its parts, right? In that sense. But it is fully aware that it is garbage. It is cobbled together with bits of scrap and twine, and that's part of the point. You know, it couldn't be a proper meditation on those ideas if it was not itself a composite of those components. Right? I feel like my experience with getting over it, though, was very, very different than, I would say, the average experience with the game. In the sense that I found it to be a very zen-like experience for me, I will say. I found it to be very soothing. I was able to get into a meditative state with the game. Maybe because I had some full idea of what I was getting into as I was going into it. I genuinely did not find myself getting very frustrated with the game. You know, whether or not that's somehow an inability to engage with the art on its own terms is a question that we could perhaps ask. Because it definitely is trying to be frustrating, right? So maybe in not being frustrating, I may have been missing out on some of the message there. Oh, I didn't take it fast enough. Oops. But, I don't know, I found it to be a very relaxing experience. I did also, you know, play it on my own time, so there wasn't any performance aspect to it in that case, or in that sense. And I also, what is it? I also took pretty frequent breaks. Like, I would get to a specific point, and I would say, okay, I've made enough progress for today. I will save here, and I will stop playing for today, and I will come back to this tomorrow. And I beat it in, like, I would say 3 sessions or so. So I think my enjoyment, I probably just had a very different way of engaging with the game than I think the average person did. And I really enjoyed it. I do think that if I'm taking things at face value, getting over it is also pretty pretentious in terms of, you know, the ideas that it might be presenting. But I don't know that I can really say that. No. I feel like getting over it, as far as the ideas that it's trying to present, maybe it's a little too impassioned with how it presents them towards the end. But I don't think it ever... I think it feels very down to earth in terms of how it is actually engaging with those ideas. I don't think getting over it ever acts like it is high art, in a sense. Whereas with something like The Witness, I do get the feeling that I am supposed to be basking in all that is taking place in a sort of sense. Just because of how much effort is put into the world and all the little vignettes that are scattered about within it. Right? The ending of Getting Over It absolutely thinks it's high art. Yeah, I think the tone of voice that Bennett Foddy adopts towards the end is a little much. But also, I will die before I call someone cringe for adopting an impassioned tone about a piece of art that they have created and its messaging. You know? I think that sometimes you just think you have a good idea, and sometimes that idea is good, and you have to ride or die with it. The end of the game is probably why I feel that the messaging is sincere more than ironic. I think it is sincerity draped in a veil of irony. God, I'm sounding pretentious now. I've probably been sounding pretentious for a good 15 minutes here, the way that I've been talking. Sorry, can you tell I have an English degree? Can you tell I don't get to use it in my line of work? It's the more important question. But yeah, I didn't... Oh, hello there. What's, Why aren't you complete? There we go. Yeah, I was really spinning a yarn there for a bit, huh? If you didn't know, by the way, if you crouch walk around, these guys here, they don't open. You can stealth them. I don't know if that works for other creatures, but it works 100% with the crab launchers. You can even do it with a gun. I'll show you. Let me find another one. I think there are some over here. You could remember to crouch walk, or you could spam explosive rebar until the problem goes away. Or, check this out. I can just crouch midair. And since I'm crouching, they can't see me. No matter what I do. Even if I shoot them with a gun. Just a little fun tech for you. New tech. Alright, so as far as steel production, right? I could do it here. Right? I could do it in this valley that I have literally specifically marked as a possible steel factory. Right? But I'm wondering, is this the optimal place for it? And is this the optimal place for the amount of steel that I am looking to create right now? Right? And I'm not sure that it is. Do it where I made my iron factory? I'm not sure where you made your iron factory. Over here? Because that's actually what I was thinking. We have this coast here that's got all of these impure coal deposits. Right? I don't think it matters if it's optimal. You just need to link it to the train network. If you need more, then you link more onto the train. Gotcha. That makes sense. I think if possible, I would like to build it over here. For a number of reasons. One, there is a large number... well, you know, let's go over there and I can show you. But one, there's a large number of impure coal deposits there. That I don't really... like, they're not near any sulfur, I don't think. So... I don't really think there would be a reason to use that coal for any other specific purpose, right? I think something like this would be ideal, since there's not any sulfur nearby, and you only really use coal for compacted coal with sulfur or for making steel, right? And the other reason is that if I build it over here... there's sulfur nearby that, well, I stand corrected. And although there isn't any, oh, whoops. Didn't stealth it right. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. Snipe. I'm a gamer. I missed. Hold on. Got him. Alright. So let's see. I think there is some sulfur nearby. Let's see. Okay. It's relatively nearby, yeah. I would say so. And sulfur is kind of hard to come by. How close is the coal to that sulfur, though, is my question. Sulfur is pretty rare, yeah. What would I want to do here, though, is my question. Well, there's a lot of coal deposits there. Huh. Hmm. I don't think I'd... Well, I could build it there. If I built it there, then I could follow a similar track setup that you did, Pub. And I could have a big train hub station here. And I could connect my circuit board factory directly to that. And transport those circuit boards to wherever I wanted to make... A little large scale, a little complicated. And also, no. There are a lot of really good iron deposits here. But there's the better iron deposits are closer by here. Pure. Oh, I'm literally directly by them. Okay, good. Is there even more over there? No. Okay, 3 normal, but there's there's 4 pure iron nodes right here for the taking. Right? So let's see here. One of these I could use entirely to make my modular frames. And I know that because my other modular frame factory I have operating on 2 normal nodes of iron. So I could ration this out pretty well. So we've got 6 impure iron nodes, right? Or sorry, we've got 6 impure coal nodes, which means that we are going to be operating with 360 coal. Assuming we're not overclocking anything. Maybe we would want to double clock some of those just so we could get a clean 480. Not sure. But let's just operate with a ratio of 360 right now. Which would mean that we would need 1. Those aren't all impure coal? Oh, that changes the ratios then. Hold on. Impure, normal, hemp? Okay, let's go check it out ourselves. Because again, that changes the ratio quite a bit if that's the case. Okay. So impure... There should be a third one here somewhere, right? Oh no, there's 5. Why did I think there were 6? It's surprisingly difficult to collect these. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. Hold on. Hold on. Stand still. Okay. You gotta be kidding me. There we go. Okay. So 2 impure. And then over here we have 3 deposits. Normal. Have 1 deposit. Nope, not Sam. Not Sam. Cole. Why does the number keep changing every single time I look at this place? Normal. And... normal. Okay. So we've got 2 normal, too impure. Interesting. Okay, so then that means that we could have a total of 240 plus 120. So it's 480. No, wait. Well, that still gives us a ratio of 360. Because I have less nodes than I thought, but the rarity is different. Because that's going to be... No. Because these are going to have... No. Right. Because that's going to be 60, 60 with a Mark II minor. Mark II minor on these two normal is going to take the 60, 120, 120. So 120, 120, 240, 360, 360 coal is what we're going to be operating with here. Unless I want to overclock or underclock something. So let's assume we've got 360 coal to work with. And steel ingots are 1 to 1. Okay, so then we'll do 45 divided by... Or 360 divided by 45. Is it a clean division? 8. Okay. So I can make a total of 8 without having to worry about any complex overclocking and underclocking. And if we had 8 manufacturers making steel ingots, we would have a total of... Well, it would be... It's 1 to 1, so that would be 360 steel ingots. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to build it. This is where I'm going to build the our new modular frame factory, our heavy modular frame factory. As long... Well, there's one problem. Is there limestone nearby? I think there is. As a matter of fact, there is. Okay, in abundance, one might say. Alright, this is the spot then. So we will make it here then. We will guide this iron down over here to this large, flat coastal area and build a train station here. The other reason why I wanted to build this here is because it is at sea level, which means that I will be able to build my train station and know that it is at 1 level elevation and not have to worry about building blueprints that change in elevation or figure out how I can accommodate that with my planning. It makes my train station routing very simple, coming directly from this station, ideally over to Slug Island, since that's where I'm gonna want my space elevator parts to go eventually, right? So this is the ideal spot for our modular frame factory then, or rather our heavy modular frame factory. So we will build it all here. Alright. And then, is Joe live? Because if Joe is live, then we will raid him post-haste. The Weeb is alive. Alrighty. In that case, that will be the end of today's Satisfactory Saturday. Next time we meet will be an art stream tomorrow. And then next Saturday, expect to see a fully functioning factory where once this barren plain of rock and sand once stood. Now, let's raid Joe. /raid Anderson JPH. And Joe said that he prefers whenever you just send emotes. So, what I think we should do is we should just send JC Hearts. I think JC Hearts is a good one. So we will /raid Anderson JPH. And when you raid him, just send him some JC Hearts. Sounds good to me. Alrighty. Thank you very much for watching, folks. As always, it's been a pleasure. Hope you had a good time. And until next time, have a good one. See ya. Be nice.